Hey everybody, welcome. It's Don't Worry Wednesday. How you guys doing tonight? How are you doing, Katie?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Excited to be here.
Yes. This is the show where we handle any issues, challenges, problems, or whatever situations you might be going through. You can feel free to post them in the chat. You can also, boy, it's been a while since I've run through this list. Please put those up there, Princess, so I can read them. Any questions or worries, feel free to drop them in the chat on the BSS website or anonymously at dww@bss.studio. Or you can click the link that Princess put there. You can also send a Princess, myself, or Static P a message on Discord, and we would be happy to read your topic from there. However, if you want it read tonight, I would recommend not sending it to Static P's Discord since he's not here. So, but you can send it to mine or Princess. She's here. So, yes, we are not professional therapists or counselors or anything like that. We just want to be your friends. We want to help in any way we can, encourage you through whatever it is you might be going through. And I think that's all the legal stuff. I feel legally covered. Do you, Katie?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Yes. So I am Joe. You can see also as CDVNL. And with me tonight is Katie,
Hi,
who's our
everybody.
special guest. If you saw, how long ago was it? Was it a month or so ago that you were
It
on?
was a little over a month ago, I think, that Steve and I were on. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember watching that show like the day after. I couldn't be there because I don't remember, something was going on, and Katie and Steve decided to fill in for me. And it was amazing. Like I was listening to this, I'm like, this is great. Like we need to have them on more often. And specifically, it's awesome to have Katie on because, she's a woman. And it's nice to have a female perspective from some of these things because we know that there are differences biologically,
Sure.
and chemically that happen. And so it's nice to have both, perspectives as people are going through an issue. So
Yeah.
at any rate, welcome everyone. And yeah, we've got topics here in the chat. Well, not in the chat. We've got topics from before. Oh, also, our show is produced by Jesse. He's the guy on the on-off button. So he pushes the on and the off. So you can thank him for bringing us on in such a smooth fashion. And Princess is our chat room hostess, also keeping us on track and helping us, keeping all of our topics in order for us and making sure that we don't get lost.
Got a clap for her,
So,
too.
yes, absolutely. Thank you, Princess. So, anyway, I am going to read through this list. If you hear your name, then just let us know somehow. Just go, hey, that's me, and we'll do your topic. So the names go as follows: Royal or Saigo, Sevlev, SK, Braden, Blue Dragon, or Dimmy. And I know I saw Blue Dragon here in the chat recently, but I think he said he would be right back. So, oh yes, I see a BRB. So I guess until we have somebody say, hey, that's my topic. Or if you guys, if there's anybody that's here, if you want to post something, if there's anything on your mind, anything that you've been thinking about that you'd like us to talk about, or any questions you might have, or if there's a friend of yours that's going through an issue and you want to know how to help them out, you can feel free to post that as well. But yeah, where is Ryan? Rosie said, aha. Yes. BR and Saula says bacon ribs and bacon. That sounds glorious, doesn't
That sounds glorious.
it? Yes, Ryan is actually probably up to about here in nieces and nephews. I should say I should say nieces and nephew, mostly nieces. He's actually watching all of his nieces and nephews tonight, and he's got a whole bundle of them that uh, he's got to keep track of. So,
Fun.
yes, they're wonderful little children. Whole bunch of them, all under the age of 8. From 8 to like 2.
That's a
I
lot.
think. Yeah, man.
That's a lot.
It's a good thing. I mean, he is so calm. You know, he's just like, hey, it's all good. Hey, don't stick that in your sister's face.
I think I would be an emotional wreck. I have one 3-year-old.
Yes. That's
Plenty for now.
yes, that's enough. I mean, but the amazing thing that I learned, because I have 2 boys, and I learned that 2 is more than twice as much as 1.
Yeah.
But then I've also heard from people who have lots of kids, they're like, oh yeah, once you get past 3, it's like
I've heard
it's
that
no
too.
different.
I've definitely heard that. It's like after you get past 2, 3, it's just kind of like they all play with each other and you just gotta break up fights, from what I hear.
Yeah. Stop.
I came from a family of 6, so
Oh, you did?
it was definitely true in my family. For
Wow.
sure. Yeah.
And where were you in this 6?
I was the second oldest.
The second oldest. All right. So
Yeah.
you had some authority with
Yeah, I might have been the beater upper sometimes.
Oh. Huh.
According to my little brother. Like, I would never do that because now he's like twice my size. I'm like, no, I never did.
Oh, you just wait till we're kids again. I will beat
Right.
you up.
Wait till I get taller than you.
Right. Yeah.
And that happened relatively quick.
Yeah. Well, but now that you're adults, probably fist fighting is out of the.
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I don't think that would ever come to play. My brother's like 6'2" and 250 pounds.
Oh my.
So I would definitely not fare very well if it did come down to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why
We love each other now.
Well, but see, now you're a mother.
Mm-hmm.
And so there is something, there's a strength to motherhood that men will not ever have or understand. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't want to pick a fight with a mom.
Well, Mama Bear, you don't want some Mama Bear kids, that's for sure.
Uh-huh.
But
that's
yeah,
true.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. Yep. Well, so at any rate, I'm wondering, Princess, do we have any older topics? I mean, I'm not seeing anybody coming through. So if we don't have any older topics, maybe we'll just grab Royals from June 24th. That's quite a while ago. Oh, Dimmy's here. Welcome, Dimmy. Are you the same Dimmy who left us a topic at bss.studio? I'm imagining so. Better late than never. Yes, we were also late getting on the show. So you don't have to feel bad about being late, but cool. Well, then you are here, so we will do your topic. So really appreciate you posting. And let's find you the link here for your topic. Oh, Princess beat me to it. Okay. So yes, this is called Drowning, and you can feel free to click that link. I would click my link instead of Princess's because I posted mine, and yeah. So, but either one will get you to the same place. So anyway, Princess, would you like to read this for us?
I would be more than happy to. From Dimi. It looks like you're drowning, but you just won't die. My earliest happy memories are of her, the way her smile stopped the world, froze time. The adventures we had, the laughs, the tears, the struggles, all carved into my mind so deeply. And every night, my heart cries out in agony to know that love will always be unrequited. It's the most painful thing I felt and continue to feel. It's torture, ripping me apart more and more. An ocean of tears that some days I tread water and some days I sink below. I wonder sometimes if this is what depression feels like to others, an oppressive sadness that you can't see past. It chills me to the bone, knowing that when I meet someone, I could never fall for them because they aren't her. I know that what's right. I know her happiness is what's important. I know that I shouldn't torture myself like this. I know that one day she'll find someone who will make her happy, and that it won't be me. I know that I can't let myself settle for someone knowing not only that they aren't her, but also knowing that they have someone to love more. Sorry. But also knowing that to have someone love me more than I could ever love them would inflict the same agony onto them. I know that I know these things, and yet I can't bring myself to regret loving her, even if it means I will spend all of my life alone, in pain, incapable of loving another. Because that's what unrequited love does. It never disappears, no matter how much you try and bury it beneath distractions, medications, lies, anything. No matter how much you want it to. And that's how you know it's love. Life's greatest cruelty is when the person you take a bullet for is the one who pulls the trigger. I've asked God so many times, so many prayers for strength, for guidance, for anything. I haven't gotten anything yet. Part of me wonders if I'm just going to be an example for someone. Hey, here's what you shouldn't let yourself love someone this much. I guess I'll get to ask him when I see him down the line. Dini.
Wow, thank you so much, Demi. I can definitely feel your pain. I remember going through similar situations, after breakups or after being rejected when asking a girl out and stuff like that, and just having this deep feeling. And maybe my feelings weren't as deep as the love that you feel for this person, but I definitely I know where your heart is coming from on this, and I'm so sorry to hear that you're in such pain. But it's an amazing thing, healing from these pains is a beautiful thing. We end up being stronger than before, and that's one thing that you know has always helped me as I was going through some of this stuff. So, but at any rate, I'm going to turn over to Katie, and I'm looking forward to hearing her perspective on this topic. So, Katie?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely brought some emotions up in me just reading, your story, and I feel like it was really, well written. And I just, as far as your feelings and the pain that you're going through right now, I'm sorry you're going through that. I do know a lot of pain like that myself. And I think that, where you had said that you might, spend your life alone and in pain and incapable of loving others, I think that that's something that will fade as time goes on, and something that you can learn to. It doesn't mean you have to stop loving that person. It just isn't always the way that maybe you would hope that it would have gone. There's a lot of times that, you love someone in a certain way and you care for them. And I don't know the exact situation that you're in, but I do know that time does heal a lot of wounds. And it sounds like here you're, asking God for, strength and guidance. And to me, I think that for someone as a believer myself, that is definitely something that will come. And even if you feel like he's not there at that moment, it doesn't mean he's not. Sometimes it just means that there's something that you can learn from the situation, and you don't have to spend the rest of your life regretting and feeling alone and feeling all this pain, and that you can never learn to grow and love someone else, because you absolutely can. And I believe that you will. I just think that right now you're in pain, and you have to just accept it for what it is the pain that you're in, and still loving her and going on loving her is okay, but loving, for maybe what's best for her. Maybe she'll make a good decision, maybe she won't. But also learning to love yourself that much, and not so much. There was a lot of, I guess, for me, there was a lot of times where I had to spend a lot of time learning to love myself. And that helped me also get through those hard times where I felt like I couldn't go on sometimes, or I didn't want to. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, I definitely agree with Katie, and I think one thing for sure, like Katie said at the very beginning, this is so beautifully written. Like you can really you use words to describe how you feel so well. Like that tells me that you have a creative mind. It tells me that you have, something in your heart that you can pour out. Now, if I know for me as a musician, when I go through the deepest painful moments of my life are what that's the moments those are the moments that I'm in when I create some of the best music. And so I would encourage you in this time, while you're going through this agony, while you're going through this down time, whatever creative outlet you find yourself being good at or being gifted at, obviously words is one of them. And I don't know if it's poetry or if it's writing creatively, writing stories, writing, just expressing yourself through words. That could be one of your outlets. I don't know if it's art, if you're good at painting or drawing or sculpting, or if it's music or whatever, but some kind of a creative outlet. If you can find yourself, in these moments where you're feeling that pain, that has always been such tremendous fodder for creativity in my life. And I remember, going through this, I've talked about this. Okay, Demi says, nah, I take walks, not a creative person. Hey, that's fine too. And if you can
You
take
clearly
walks,
have another art, because I mean the way that this was written, I feel, was just, I mean, it's sad, but it's beautiful at the same time.
absolutely.
It's very, very well written.
Yep, it's moving. Like you
It
have a gift with words, and just the description. I mean, people read these things, and we can feel emotion. Sometimes people don't feel emotion very well until they read something like this, and then it deepens their level of emotion. But why we can ask God, why things are happening. We can ask God what's going on, and sometimes like you've experienced here, I haven't gotten anything yet. It's just silence. And that can be some of the most frustrating times. But there's one thing I know for sure, that if I'm on top of the world and everything's going great, I tend to get a little bit prideful. I tend to get a little bit full of myself. I tend to get, like, hey, everything's great. I'm great. This is all great. I'm awesome. And then like what happens then is I start relying on myself and less on God. And So I know that I've had experiences of painful moments where God has used those, and it seems like because they don't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make any sense why some of these things have happened in my life, except that he knows that it's going to cause me to pray more. Because when I'm in a deep funk and I'm, having trouble in whatever area, those are times when I pray more. And even if it's just like, why is this happening? Like, why? Can you please stop it? But it's still communication, right? And it draws our heart toward him. And sometimes that seems to be the only reason. Maybe he's just trying to draw my heart to focus on him more. And that definitely can be the case. If you read, this is very interesting. Nobody knew this much about Mother Teresa, but she apparently spent most of her life feeling this way. Not necessarily loving somebody and having it, you know, not able to love back or whatever, right? Not that situation, but just feeling alone and in darkness and loneliness. And that was most of her life. And she was one of the most tremendous influences for good that we've seen in centuries. I mean, she just helped orphan children in India, sick and homeless children in India, and helped clothe them and feed them and all that kind of stuff. And, but most of her life, even that entire life of service, she spent feeling alone and in darkness and depression. And it was amazing. Like, nobody really knew this until after she was gone and started reading some of the stuff that she had written throughout her life, and like, oh my gosh, this was amazing. But you can do great good even in that painful time. And in fact, that pain can help you relate to other people.
Absolutely.
Maybe you're being built through this. Maybe you're being raised up through this experience to help someone else who goes through this same thing, who feels this way, and you will then be perfectly placed through your experiences and through this time in your life that you will be able to help them get through like no one else can. So that's also something to keep in mind as you go through this.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I do. I've actually recently felt like, you're asking, God for strength and guidance and feeling like there's not, you're not getting what you're hoping for.
Mhm.
But it's also that time to just seek and, lean into him, or lean into yourself, and leaning into um learning more about yourself, and knowing that things don't always work out the way you hope. Most of the time they don't. But
Mhm.
it's also a point of strengthening. It's a toughening of the skin. It's a, point to move forward. And then, that love that you feel for her is very evident. And I think you have a lot of love to give. I think that's the most evident, is that you have so much love to give. And there is going to be a person that will reciprocate that love, and whatever kind of relationship, you're in. I think, just loving people, loving your friends, and even in an intimate, personal relationship, you have a lot to give. So I think this is a trial. It's a tough time to go through, and I hope you keep pressing on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a tough time. Dimmy's got some more stuff in the chat. It's only directed at her. I'm not the most friendly guy. Oh, at least I very least wait. I hate, or at very least dislike others. Man, I'm tripping over my words tonight. um, And like I said, I'm not going to let someone else love me more than I could love them. That's not fair. They don't deserve that. You know, it's interesting. Really, that statement right there, like I said, I'm not going to let someone else love me more than I could love them. There's not really much we can do about that. You know, like if someone decides to love us infinitely and we can't return that, I mean, that's really up to them. I can't control how much somebody loves me. I can only control how much I love another person. Now, the interesting thing about love, you know, Ryan has said it so many times on this show, and he's told me many times in person, you know, just person to person, that love is desiring the best for another person. And I know you have that in here in your topic somewhere. I can't remember. It seems like I read that. But to desire the best for someone, you know, even if that best thing isn't you, that's real love. That's really truly loving, because love has an element of sacrifice to it. You never know how much you love somebody until there's pain involved in the relationship, right? That's one of the things that makes marriage so powerful, right, Katie? Because
In all the cases, that's where you find the love, because you have to
yes,
work.
you get tested for sure. And that's an amazing thing. Like, so for one, it's an amazing thing. Here's one thing too. You never know how life is going to go. You never know where things are going to end up. Like, I felt this way about this girl. I loved her so much. I felt these deep, deep feelings for her, right? I had met her at college, you know, we had gotten to know each other a little bit, and then I asked her out and she rejected me. And because she was seeing somebody else, right? And um, so at any rate, I was like, all right, well, I guess that's off the table. So I just went off and lived my life, and, you know, went to school, and I threw myself into music and played in a band, and we were pretty good. We were playing all over the place locally, and I was in school studying percussion. And so I just kind of threw my whole life into what I was studying and what I was working on, right? And so that might be something you can do here too. Like, if this door is closed for you, one thing that you could consider is whatever path you're pursuing for a profession, or for, you know, if there's any type of a goal you're running after, or if there's not, maybe you could find one. You know, it could be as simple as getting in better shape. It could be as simple as learning a new skill. There are so many things out there that you can do and learn, and you can throw yourself into it. So I did that, right? And for about a year, or I think it was 14 months actually, this happened. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, we were doing a show together. Uh she was in the dance studio part of the college I was in. I was in the percussion part. And so we were doing a show together. And after a show, she was like, "Hey, I'm free. I'm not engaged to this guy." She had gotten engaged to him. And I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool." And I drove off. And then eventually we got to be friends, and then we got married. There was a lot in between, you know, being friends and being married, but you know, that's the story of how I met my wife. I had deep feelings for her. She didn't have the same feelings for me. In fact, she was dating someone else, got engaged. So she was going to marry this guy. And then the engagement broke off for whatever reason, and then we ended up being able to develop a relationship. Now, we got this relationship and we got married. And you know what? It's been really hard. Cuz marriage is hard. So as you love someone, I mean, yeah, it's wonderful to have these deep feelings of love. It's great. But then as you go on, you know, you will get to prove how much you love through sacrifice eventually. So,
That love changes.
what's that?
So that love changes too as you progress. You know, things go things progress differently, and you have to make a lot of compromises. And I was just reading some of the comments, Dimmy, and it's just easier to hate than love, and it maybe it feels like it's easier for you, because I can relate to that, believe it or not. When I was younger, I really didn't, I was hurt by a lot of people, so it was very easy to just put up walls and, you know what, I don't like you, that's it. You're done, we're done. Like, so, and it was just very easy to put that, those walls up around me. But then I built such big walls that I didn't allow these, like, some good people to actually come and speak into my life, not necessarily romantic relationships, but just friends that were true friends, to really, people that you can learn to like, people that you actually do like. Sometimes people are hard to like. I can totally understand that, for sure. But I think that there's something really special about, being able to just learn to let those boundaries come down. And it's not easy by any stretch of the word, but I think if you can let that will really open up a lot of opportunities for you. So, sorry, I just had to add that.
No, that's absolutely true. And that building up of walls eventually becomes kind of like a prison for you.
Yeah.
You start living this life that's like, it's not really you, it's not really authentic. You're just kind of this version of yourself that's protected on so many fronts, and it ends up trapping you. And I remember being this way, and one of the things, like, I had to experience healing through that. And so if you end up just like building a wall and saying, okay, I'm never going to get hurt by this again, boom, I am closing this area of my life off, and you build up a wall. Okay, so now you have one layer of protection. And so then something else happens and you build up another layer. And then, like Katie was just talking about, you end up with these huge walls around yourself, and you can't let people in who would be able to be good. They would be good friends of yours. You might forge some wonderful relationships, except that you have these barriers stopping that from happening. So then how do you get rid of those barriers? And the way I learned how to do that is through forgiveness. And you don't have to forgive the person directly to their face. But in this case, it sounds to me like you have been caused pain by this person, even if it's not intentional. Maybe they just don't want the same thing you want, and so just that circumstance hurt you. But it's still easy to feel hurt by that person, and then you can start to build up a wall. So the way to stop that, so you can continue living that authentic life, and then also this will smooth out some of this pain that you feel. Now, it might not take it all away. In fact, there are things that have happened to me years ago that I still feel pain from. I mean, I deal with it, I live with it, and I grow from it. But forgiveness smooths all that out. And so if you feel like you've been hurt by this person, even if they didn't do something wrong, it can help in your heart to forgive them. Because deep down inside, we still feel hurt by them. And then we can start talking to ourselves. We can be like, well, it wasn't really them, it was me. And then it's like, okay, so now I have to forgive myself. And that can be even harder. And one of the things I found there is if I need to forgive myself for something, the thing I find helpful for that is to also repent. So I do both sides of the equation. There's a wrong that happened. I did something wrong and it hurt me. I need to tell myself that I'm sorry and that I will try not to do it again, and then forgive myself. So I have to actually do both sides of the equation. And that's the only way I've ever figured out how to actually forgive myself, because that was always such a hurdle for me. It's crazy, but I'm telling you, forgiveness is so key to helping smooth all this out and make sure that you don't build up those walls. So then you will be able to, let those right people into your life. You'll be able to live your life authentically and peacefully, no matter what happens. You can be at peace inside, regardless of the conditions going on around you.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Being the, better version of yourself. And, for me, I did seek counseling and seek somebody outside of the situation just to vent. And a lot of people, sometimes think, oh, you're seeing a counselor, that's like a sign of weakness or something like
Mm.
that. But truly it's not. I mean, it's somebody you can go and you can speak with that has no bias between either situation, and they can, at the very least, let you just vent all your frustrations, no matter how deep or how, not serious or how serious, whatever they are, and maybe help you make sense of them from a perspective that's outside of the situation that you're in. And I did find that really helpful for me. And like Joe said, forgiveness is definitely key. If somebody's hurt you, and I won't lie, I have people that I still have a problem forgiving for things that have happened in my past from a very young age that I thought I forgave, and I moved past it. And then something comes along and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt from this. And I just, for me, I just found my worth in knowing that it was worth it for me to continue trying to better myself and worry about me versus other people. Because you can worry about other people and what they're going to do all day long forever, and it will get you nowhere, until you can kind of put things in perspective. Not that you shouldn't care about others or anything like that, or a specific person that means a lot to you, but also knowing that you are just as important as that person. So putting that much effort that you put into wanting them and wanting to know them, and putting that much effort into yourself is very healing. At least it was for me. So
Yeah, we can never control the actions of others, and sometimes, and we'll drive ourselves crazy trying to anticipate those, or trying to, be in any way, shape, or form in control of anything outside of ourselves. And sometimes we can't even control ourselves.
yeah.
See,
also, we're gonna screw up for
that's so
all
true.
the time.
Yep. And
Every
you're
day.
right, to me. Yes, you can definitely influence others. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. And you do have an influence on others. And so that's one thing to remember as you're going through this time, that even if you think in terms of, well, I'm not hurting anybody by just being this way, you might be. You never know. I mean, just the way you act around other people can have an impact on somebody else. And so really, the better you can do at, and I know this is so hard, especially like when you're right in the middle of it, to work towards that forgiveness. So then you can be you, really you. So you can actually be you and be, the best version of you, and not all guarded, with the walls built up and everything. That would be so important. And I hope so much that some of the stuff that we've said has resonated a little bit. I know that when I was in the pit of despair, particularly after a breakup, my girlfriend before my wife, after I broke up with her, I was in such a deep pit, and there wasn't anything anybody could say that would help. There really wasn't. It was just a time that I had to work through and I had to experience that pain, and I had to go through time, and I ended up with figuring out who some of my closest friends were, and I found a little community that I could, that I could kind of be a part of. They were my closest friends, and they really helped me through, just by being there and hanging out with me and putting up with me and my depression and everything. But yes. So Dimmy, I will tell you this, that you are welcome in the BSS community. You're welcome on these shows. You're welcome at bss.studio. We've got a lot of exciting things coming along pretty soon. And, so there's going to be a lot more activity. There's going to be a lot of folks coming around. And we would love to get to know you better, either at bss.studio or here on the various live streams on this or Double Cup of Joe show. Also, if you play Minecraft, we have a Bedrock Edition Minecraft server. And if you go to the Static P Discord, you can get involved there, and it's just a great group of people to hang around. And maybe Princess can post a link at some point to the Static P Friends Discord. But yeah, we would love to hang out with you here, and you always have a group of friends. So, and we'll love you no matter whatever you're going through. It doesn't matter. So I just hope some of that's resonated. Katie, did you have anything else to say on this one?
No, I do appreciate the honesty and bluntness from Demi, the place where they're at right now. And, it's raw, and that's great. And that's what this is here for. So I hope, you do find encouragement, and maybe you don't right now, but maybe you will in the future, and maybe something will stick with you, or at the very least know that you can come here and talk and not be judged and just have some friends. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the topic. And thanks for, like Katie was saying, for just bearing your heart to us in that raw fashion. It was quite beautifully written, quite heartfelt. And yeah, it was a beautiful thing. So thank you so much, Dimmy. And hopefully some of that makes sense and helps in some way, shape, or form. But with that, I think we can move on to the next topic. So thanks again, Dimmy. And like I said before, stick around and hang out. We'd love to get to know you better. We'd love to, if you have any more topics, you can feel free to post them. Get involved in the community in various and the Discord and other areas. We'd love to get to know you. So thanks again. But anyway, all right. So what do you say we stick around? Oh, Dimmy says, I know exactly which one I want, but that one won't happen. LOL. Yeah, I know. It's all right. But we're here for you. And in whatever way we can be. So thank you again. But anyway, all right, let's see. I'm going to go through the list here. And if you hear your name, let us know you're here and we'd be happy to do your topic. Royal, Sevlev, SK, Braden, Blue Dragon, and Princess. And Blue Dragon, I see you just posted just now. So I know you're here. Oh, and we got Hyrule too. It looks like Hyrule has a topic as well. So yeah. So if I don't hear, let's see. I think we'll move on to Blue Dragons. And Blue Dragon is awesome. I got to tell you, I've gotten to hang out with Blue Dragon in the gaming voice chat. I love you. You're awesome. So yeah, it's always great to get to talk to you. But oh, and I'm on my own now. Look at that. Just like that, I get to be. Oh,
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I'm trying
to. Yeah, right. Uh-oh, something happened. I bet you I froze or something.
Technical difficulties. No, my screen is.
Oh, you need your IT person, your personal IT person to
help
come
me,
in.
please.
Hey, there he is. Everybody say hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Sorry about that. I don't really know what I'm doing. There's some screens around here. Figuring out as I go.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Perfect. All right. So let's see. All right. So yeah, let's do Blue Dragons. This one was posted last week. It's called Breaking Out of Your Shell. Let's see. Oops. Nope. Nope. Ah, dang it. I was gonna get and I accidentally hit the wrong button. All right. Just click Princess's link. I was gonna race, but then nope. So yes, this is called Breaking Out of Your Shell. It was from Blue Dragon, and it came from our chat last week. And Princess, whenever you're ready, feel free to read it.
Thank you. What is something that people who may be introverted or less social could do to start breaking out of their shell and start making some friends online during these trying times? From Blue Dragon.
Very interesting topic. Making friends online. I will say this, Blue Dragon, you're pretty good at it. Because I don't, and I know maybe you've asked this question for a friend, but any input that you have in the chat, also feel free to expand on this. And also, if you have any answers to this as well, feel free to keep us updated in the chat. But I know it seems to me from the first time I met Katie, she was always good at meeting people. I mean, she worked, well, you were a waitress, right?
Yeah, I was bartender for 10 years.
Yeah. So you were always around people, and and part of your livelihood was being nice to these people, because that was, you get
It
tips.
had to be.
Right, exactly, right?
You gotta make any money.
Right. If you're gonna make money, you gotta be nice to these people. So, but yeah, so she was she always seemed so comfortable around people. And she's also done some, were you considered a pastor or
Yeah,
an associate pastor? Okay.
I was a worship pastor.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, and she was a pastor for a church. So obviously she's been involved with lots of people and had to, be nice to people and be friendly and actually get to know them and do all this kind of stuff. So I can't wait to hear what Katie has to say about, being more social, because I'm pretty
Yeah.
introverted myself. So.
Well, believe it or not, I'm pretty introverted myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't at first when I was younger, and then I sort of became more introverted as I got older. And I think one thing that I've had to push myself out of my comfort zone, even doing this right now. I mean, I have been nervous all day about this. I'm not gonna. I have. I'll be honest. So there's just I guess there's just a desire to know people more now and to kind of be able to relate to people. And even becoming a pastor, that was one thing that had pushed me to my very limits, being able to, stand up in front of people and give my testimony and all that kind of stuff, and, be completely vulnerable. I was a person who was completely blocked off. I didn't like people, like I can really relate to what Demi had said before. I didn't really like people, and I think a lot of that was because I didn't really know that I liked myself a lot. And not that that's the case, but just for me, this is how it was. And I had to push myself out of my comfort zone and push myself. I started just making coffee for people, but I guess for this particular topic, it's hard, but even just reaching out to one person that maybe you knew in college or high school or whatever, just somebody that that may be going through the similar situations than you, and just reaching out and saying, hey, you want to go for a walk, especially the times that it is right now. A lot of things are online based, or there's a lot of group chats, there's a lot of group a group things that I think a lot of people don't know about, with specific topics, whether you're a mother or whether you're in college and you're dealing with, new, like the virtual schooling or, things that you're dealing with. I think there's a lot of different groups that you could be in and try to join. I think also just being out and trying to be, for me, I like to go for walks. I like to go hiking. You see people and everybody's wearing their masks and everything is, and not that I'm saying you shouldn't wear masks, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, I feel like when people wear their masks, they hide behind it. And it's like, you can't say hey to people, you can't say, like, it just feels very closed off at this time in life. And I don't think any of us, well, I know none of us, in this generation have really experienced this type of distance from others. And so I think just being able, walking down the street, and if you're truly, introverted to the point where it's scary for you to really reach out to anyone or say hi, just maybe try saying hi to somebody walking by, try just pushing yourself a little bit. You don't have to go too far, but a wave, something like that, or just being outside where other people are around people it does help for me.
So you like the in-person social.
I'm not much of a online person. I haven't, as far as right now. I've tried to join some groups and stuff, some fitness groups to try to help me keep motivated. Doesn't always work, but just stuff like that. But I've also reached out to some different friends just to kind of chat. Or Marco Polo. I kind of fell in love with Marco Polo. If you don't know what it is, you probably
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
I know the game in the
I know
swimming
you don't know. I'll tell you. No, it's an app, and you can join with your friends, and it's kind of, you can just talk over it. So it's sort of like we're having a conversation right now, but say you're busy, you've got schoolwork, you've got kids, you've got whatever it is that's going on. You can leave a message and say, hey, this is what I'm doing, just seeing how you're doing, and send it, and then they can check it when they can and get back to you. And that has been really nice for me during quarantine, because I feel a little bit more connected with people versus being completely shut off, which we were for a while. So that has been a nice outlet for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely like that. That's a cool idea, because like we always send a text message and it's like, okay, I'll get to it when I can, or like an email or something like that, but this is like a voice version of that. That's pretty cool. So yeah, exactly. Then you can actually, like, because I always mess up in text messages. I always get the wrong message across somehow, probably because it's text. And I've learned that you never approach a sensitive subject through text.
No.
Because the best to do it in person when you can see the other person, and if you can't do that, then with voice, so at least you can hear the voice inflections, right?
Yeah.
And I remember I've tried to be sarcastic in text messages. That does not work at all.
No, and I am a very sarcastic person too. So I'm always like sending jokes, and then people think I'm like ticked off at them, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
No, I was just joking.
Or if people don't know me that well and I joke or whatever, it's like, oh, you don't know that I'm just being a dork.
Yeah.
Really. So it's nice having that. I do love the little Marco Polo app. It actually connected me with a few people that I hadn't talked to in a long time. And it was just nice to see their face. So, if we're in this virtual world now where we can't, and we're closed off from people, that is a good alternative.
Yeah. Well, that definitely sounds cool. I know that, one of the things that you talked about is to go where people are. You know, if you're introverted and stuff like that, you talked about going to park, you talked about going to different places where people are. There are places online where people are. And you can do the same thing. And one of the cool things, you had talked about a little bit, Katie, was there is like a group for everything out there. You know, there's a forum for everything. Like if you're into cars, you can find many forums for cars. If you're a musician, you can find forums for musicians. If you're a gamer, you can find tons of forums for gamers. There are chat platforms specifically just for gaming, like Discord. Like I never knew this existed until a couple years ago, and then I was like, what is Discord? And then, you know, all of a sudden now here I am on Discord, and I'm getting to know people on Discord and chatting back and forth and joining voice chats, you know, while we played games. And it's hilarious. Like we'll play Minecraft, you know, on the BSS server, which after this show I'll probably jump on for a little bit. So any of you guys, if you want to hang out a little bit, I'll probably be on for a little while. But anyway, um, we get on there, and it's funny because like we'll be playing Minecraft and we'll be doing stuff, right? And then we'll have a whole other group of people in the same voice chat room, like we're all talking, and there are other people playing different games. And so like they're talking about what's going on in their game, we're talking about what's going on in Minecraft, and it's like this whole weird, like it's like beef stew, you know, like just all kinds of stuff thrown in a pot, you know, like
It sounds fun.
yeah,
Not
it's
really my
cool.
jam, but it sounds fun.
Sure. Well, but the point is there are things like that for everything.
Yeah.
You can find something like that to fit what you're into. And, you know, the only reason I ever got into Minecraft was because my kids are into Minecraft. And that's something that I was like, hey, you know, well, I always played video games when I was younger. I'll learn to play this one, and then I can have something to do with my kids. And so now we play Minecraft together, and, you know, then that opened up a whole new world of other people to play Minecraft with. And, you
That's
know,
awesome.
yeah, it was fun.
I
But,
play Crash Bandicoot.
oh, yeah, with the little guy, the little wood guy that showed up
Yeah.
next to you. Wooga booga.
Yes.
That
Crash
guy.
Bandicoot. So I think that may have been the last video game. I think I'm aging myself. No, that was the last video game I played.
Yeah. I just remember that dude. It was like you got extra power or something if he was around you or something, like you got wooga
Yeah,
booga,
there's a
and
lot
then
of
you're like,
different
yeah.
wugga wugga. And then you get all these points or something. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's been a
that
while.
was cool. That was cool. But and actually we just found Steve and I, your husband, we just found, well, he found, and I, you know, help take credit because I'm on the show. But he found Jam Kazam, because we were looking for something. He and I write music together. We're working on an instrumental album together. And he found this way that we could hopefully in real time actually have a rehearsal, even though we live like 100 miles apart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. And so that way he can be there in that room where Katie's sitting. I can be here in this room where I'm sitting, and we can work on, you know, songs, putting songs together, and we can actually have rehearsals, you know, where we're working in real time together and jamming. But even with that, they've set this Jam Kazam thing up as a way where people can just have jam sessions and open them up to other musicians. So like you can actually look through and see, oh, there's a jam session going on and they're playing this type of music. There's a jam session going on. It's open for other people to join. And so you can actually like join these jam sessions.
Awesome.
Yeah, which I was like, whoa, that's
First I'm hearing of it.
yeah, I'm like,
Whoa, mind blown.
I know, right? It's like, what the heck? And so, but the point is like if you go out where people are and just be out there, and maybe even against, I know, against my better judgment, I've written some stuff on some forums from time to time. And but it's amazing because what you say might have an impact on somebody. You might have a bit of information that could help somebody. You might. And so all you got to do is just go where a group of people that are into that thing are, and then contribute. That's really the thing. I mean, we tend to think in terms of what are we getting out of a situation? Like, I'm going to go do this, and what am I going to get out of it? Right? We tend to think in terms of that. And I think that's just a normal human thought process, right? But imagine what your life could look like if you flipped that and thought, what can I contribute to this situation? Rather than what am I going to get out of it? What are other people going to contribute to me? Think in terms of what can I contribute? How can I give? Because really, you'll feel so much better. It takes your focus totally off yourself and onto other people. It puts your focus on helping another person. And so what happens as a result is this loneliness, this depression, this sadness, all this kind of stuff starts to clear up and lift because you're not so focused on yourself. And that's really the cause. I mean, Ryan has gone through this. I've gone through this. I know one of the main causes of depression is to be self-focused. And so if you can break that focus away from what am I getting out of this situation to what am I giving, it leads to such a healthy self-esteem. And also you're gonna end up making some great friends out there in the process, because most people are out there thinking, what am I going to get out of this? If you show up giving something that can help them, boy, they're going to feel great. They're going to like you because you gave them something. And you know what? That is a bridge to a new friendship that maybe you never would have had. And it's pretty awesome.
I think it could be as simple as a, like, hi, how are you, type of thing too, just like, it is hard to come out of yourself because I think in our minds we sit and we run through scenarios in our heads that are, they are very self-based. Even if you're not necessarily a selfish person or you don't mean to be, we're all selfish. We all think about ourselves, and so it's a hard thing to kind of break. But I agree with Joe, kind of going out and just kind of thinking in a different mindset, like, how can I make somebody's day better? Like, just for fun. Like, hey, you look good today. Or, hey, obviously it's not really like high five appropriate right now necessarily.
Right.
Air five. But I mean, just going out and saying, hey, I hope you're having a great day. That can make such a difference in someone's life. I mean, I tell you what, if I go to the grocery store or I go to somewhere and someone says, you look great, I mean, I'm going to melt. I'm going to melt. I'm like, oh my God, really? Because it doesn't happen. You don't always get compliments from people. It's just, you don't always get that. So when people say those kind of things, something kind to you, it's uplifting. You know how you feel when someone says, like, hey, I like your shirt, or, like your smile, or, just something nice to say to somebody. It really can change someone's day or week entirely. I mean, it's happened to me, and I love it. It does change your day. You're having a bad day and somebody buys your coffee in front of you at Starbucks, or, something like that. And it's like, wow, like, there are good people in this world. And, it's a way to connect in this disconnected world that we're in. So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we're all looking for validation in some way, I think. All of us. We're all looking to because I think all of us kind of struggle a little bit with our self-image. I think always. We're always going to doubt ourselves a little bit. I doubt myself all the time. And I remember it's amazing, how this happens, because I'll be in such a time of self-doubt. In fact, I was going through this yesterday, and like just in the nick of time, I got a call from Kyle. He's the finance guy at Black Static and Swerve. And he was just he was calling to tell me some other stuff and everything like that. And we just had this great conversation for a little while about what's going on and plans for Black Static and Swerve and what things are happening and everything like that. And just that little conversation of knowing that I had a friend, that we were somewhat in, we were working on some stuff together, we're doing something. And it made me feel valuable again. So even this time of self-doubt where, I don't know where my head's at, right? To have a friend like that, he just called out of the blue, and his timing was just perfect, because I was struggling and he just called, and then all of a sudden we had this conversation. It was awesome. But you can do that. Like, sometimes, I don't know how many times I've thought about calling somebody, or thought about emailing somebody, or texting somebody, and just to see how they're doing, just to say whatever, who knows what, right? And I have not done it. I don't know how many times I've had the feeling that I should do that, and I've not done it. And now that I look back on that, and just yesterday, that experience where I was struggling with self-doubt, and then out of the blue, Kyle calls me, that to me reminded me that maybe when I'm having that feeling that I should call somebody, maybe I need to just do it. Maybe I need to send that message. Maybe I need to just do that, because maybe they're in a low ebb right now. Maybe they're struggling right now. Maybe they just need a friend, not to do anything specific, or have some kind of elaborate build up session or anything like that, but just to make them feel not alone.
I've had that before a lot of times too. I can totally relate to that, where
Mhm.
I feel like I need to get a hold of somebody, just say I'm thinking about them for whatever reason. I just have a feeling, that you need to just say, hey, how are you? I'm thinking about you. Hope you're doing all right.
Mhm.
And that means a lot. And I've also received those messages as well. And it's like, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel important. And you are important, no matter who you are important. And so being a part of that, and giving and receiving of those kinds of things, is just, it's kind of amazing what you can learn about people too, when you say, hey, I'm just thinking about you and I hope you're doing all right. And then sometimes they'll come back and say, you have no idea how much I needed that, or how much I just
Right.
needed to hear that.
Mhm.
So, and
You know what
then
I've never heard when I've done that?
don't call me.
I've never heard, "What are you, stupid? Why would you think I'd want to hear from you?" Like, I've never
Right.
heard.
For sure.
And I've never thought that about someone who, when they've sent me that message, I always feel like that's what they're gonna feel like. I always feel like they're gonna think I'm dumb. They're gonna think, like, if I call them out of the blue, they're gonna be like, "Oh, why are you calling me?" Blah blah blah. But that's never happened. I've never felt that way. I've always just been like, wow, I really appreciate the call. That's really nice, you know? And I guess probably if somebody responded that way, I'd just be like, "Psh, well, whatever. And we can just hang up then. Fine."
Bye.
Wugga bugga.
I'm done thinking about you.
Right. Yep. Yeah. So anyway, but those are ways, I mean, if you want to, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling isolated, then the world is really, with the electronic communication we have available. Everybody's got a phone. Everybody's got some kind of social media account or email account or something. Everybody's got some way to get in touch with. And man, the best thing you can do is just reach out and say hi to somebody. And man, it's amazing what can happen, because just from that one little moment of you saying hi or reaching out to another person, I know that I just put it on my list sometimes. Like, I've got people that I need to communicate with, And I'm like, I've gotten messages from these people. I just need to contact them back or whatever. And so maybe I'll just reply to a message they had on Discord or something. And they happen to be on at that time. And that has turned into like a 15-minute or 20-minute long conversation. A big wall of words on my computer screen, just and all I was doing was just saying hi. Right. But it's amazing. And then both of us go away from that experience feeling like, oh, that's a strengthened friendship right there. And
Definitely.
somebody cares about me, and and there are other people in this world. I'm not alone. That is so hugely important right now, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's so easy right now to isolate yourself and to just feel completely shut out from everyone. I mean, sometimes it's almost impossible to not feel that way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of like, well, we're supposed to stay away from everybody and stay 6 feet away, wear your masks and all these stipulations. And it's hard. It's a hard time we're all going through. So I think it's even more important that we're all there for one another in one aspect or another, whether whoever it is, just different, there's different people from all different walks of life, and just trying to be a positive and that, or being real and not feeling positive that day and being like, I'm really depressed and this sucks and I feel isolated and I hate what's going on. Like, I mean, sometimes you feel that way, and it's okay. It's good to talk with people. We need each other. You're not meant to do life alone. So
Yep. Even
yeah.
as introverted as I am, I still value that time of, talking to a close friend, or even an acquaintance, and getting to know them better. You know,
Yeah,
I think it's just that crowds are hard for me. I think,
I don't like him either.
yeah, it's like,
Even when somebody will invite me over for a dinner party or something, and it's just a small gathering, I'm like, I don't want to go. Stay at home in my comfort zone. But every time I do, just say, okay, I'm going. I'm just gonna do it because I need to do it. And I always feel better when I do. It's like, you're having that, like, just that little bit of community, with your close friends or family, just having a little bit of time to just converse with other people, be around someone else. You don't have to be in a big, huge crowd, but, just being with another person that you're not
Mhm.
normally with, and just being able to talk about life and how you're feeling and what's going on. That has been really, really, really helpful for me, for sure, even if I dread it before I go.
Right. Yes. Yes. And we always make such a big deal out of it in our mind before it happens, right?
I
It's
don't know why, but it
I don't
does
know
happen.
either.
It's like,
Yep. It's always this big hairy beast of a thing, and then all of a sudden we get there, and it's like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like,
yeah,
wow.
I'm glad I actually got off my
Man,
couch.
oh man, man, oh man, how about that? But yep, crowds. I'm seeing some feedback. Blue Dragon says Blue Dragon's an extrovert, and you think he would love crowds, but nope. And then Dimmy says crowds are lame. I agree, and it's crazy. Like my father-in-law and my nephew, man, they love going to like college football games. And they're all like bummed out because like the Big Ten isn't playing or something. Like I don't know if they're actually, I don't know what's going on there. But last I heard, they weren't playing football this fall. And so they're all bummed, they're like, oh man. And I'm like, man, that's like a nightmare for me. Like,
Me too.
I got I gotta go find a place to park. I gotta be in a sea of people. There's all kinds of people rubbing up against you. Somebody's spilling pop on me, like something's going on. And like there's people all over the place, and then we're all crowded in there, and we are forced to watch football.
And the whole place closes in
Like,
on you, and you're like,
right, yeah. It's like Hot dog. Yes, please. Hot dog. Hot dog. Anything. Anything I can like eat. Because I'm a
Yeah.
nervous eater. Like, please. That's how they get me. All this
You're a nervous eater, huh?
Yeah, yeah. And so they'll sell all their $20 hot dogs, like to people like me who are nervous. But at any rate, I don't have to worry about that. I never get invited anyway because I wouldn't go. But
I'm not one for that either. And even just going to something as simple as like the zoo. My daughter is autistic and she is very introverted. I also am in that I don't like big crowds either. I get claustrophobic. So I do struggle with that. I try to push myself to do it, but then with my daughter, she doesn't like it either. So she's kind of my roll dog now.
Mhm.
We just like, I know if you're uncomfortable, and that's our way to just get out and go and have some alone time. So she's a blessing in that aspect, because I'm not forced to go.
Right.
I have a reason. We can't.
Right.
Not
Yep.
just me.
It's not gonna be a good scene. Let's not do that.
No.
Yep. But I think, but even though we can't do that, which is actually good for those of us who don't like it, it's still important, like you were talking about, to reach out to those people. It's still important to, see what you can do to brighten someone's day. I love the way you said that, because what am I going to do to brighten up the life of another person right now? How can I help them? Because yeah, we're all struggling through this right now. We're all, during this time of isolation, everybody's dealing with it. And, I don't mind social distancing because I'm an introvert and I'd just as soon be, working on music and, sitting at my computer and not being around other people. But at the same time, I still need other people. And it occurred to me yesterday as Kyle called me out of the blue, because I was just like, I was in this down moment. And after I talked to him, everything was great, because we had talked. And it struck me how important that is. And I'm like, man, the people who are people persons, they're really struggling through this time of isolation.
Yeah.
Because like, man, like it's got to be super hard for them. And so the more we can do to help, the more we can do to brighten their lives, man, the better things will be for everybody, because you'll feel better as a result.
For
And they
sure.
will too.
That doesn't mean you have to, you don't necessarily have to go to the extreme of a big event or anything like that. But, like, I was mentioning before, just, going to the grocery store, or walking down the sidewalk past somebody, and just making it a conscious effort to just say hi, even if they're totally avoiding. Because I don't know why, but it just kind of seems like that's what people do right now, is like they wear a mask so they totally avoid you. So there's no hi, there's no like eye contact or anything. So sometimes it can be fun to just make it a little awkward. Like, hi, something. I mean, and honestly, it breaks the ice a little bit too. But I feel like people feel like they have to be like secluded, like they don't know how close you want to get, or you don't have to get close to people. You could just say hi. How are you? Something like that. So keeping that humanity about us, I think it's been a tough time, or a tough challenge during this time. But
Sure. You learn to smile with your eyes.
Yeah.
Because you can't see your mouth. So
Probably did. Is it okay?
Not in a
I
creepy
just
way,
look
no.
crazy. I might just look I might just look crazy. I don't know. I'm working on it. It's a work in progress.
Yep. Well, Blue Dragon, thank you so much for the topic. We've been on this one for a little while now, but hopefully some of that was helpful. I know it helped me to talk about it because I definitely need help in this area. and yeah, like I was saying before, it was very obvious to me how important it was to me when Kyle called me out of the blue, and it made me feel better. So I was just that kind of flipped a switch in my brain, like I need to do this more. And I really appreciate you bringing this to our attention so we could talk about different ways, because it always helps to throw some ideas back and forth with other people, and it just helps you know gain more ground that way. So I appreciate you so much, Blue Dragon, and I look forward to the next time I get to talk with you. And yeah, thank you so much for the topic. So I think we got time for one more here. And Hyrule, I know we've got a topic from you, and I see that you're still here. I think hopefully you're not asleep. Oh, I see an emoji that is like sleepy. But okay, Hyrule says hello. And yes, I see there's a topic here. Okay, Hyrule says sleep is for the weak. Who is that?
Maybe.
That's by right, yeah. That's a
little
song by the
past tense.
Dreadnoughts, I
Oh.
think. Is that by the Dreadnoughts? I think it's by the Dreadnoughts.
Totally. I'm faking it. Fake it till you make it. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah. Actually, I've learned that sleep is actually not for the weak. Sleep is for people who are strong. I learned that is actually a part of the exercise regimen that I'm doing right now.
For sure.
Is they're like, you need to sleep.
You do. You do.
And I'm like, you know what? Actually, he's right. I'm seeing way better results since I started sleeping more. It's weird. But at any rate, Hyrule, we have a topic from you called World Changing. And there's a link. Princess posted it. Yeah. Thank you, Princess. And I will let Princess read it. So take it away, Princess.
From Hyrule. Could I change the world? I think I can, but sometimes I doubt. Who knows? How can I not have self-doubt? Thank you. From Hyrule.
That is a great question. And we were just talking a little bit about struggling with self-doubt in the last topic. Because I think it's something that's fairly common, a common occurrence for a lot of us. So this is definitely a great question. And thanks so much for posting it. But I'm gonna turn it over to Katie to start us off. And hopefully you had enough time to think about it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely struggle with self-doubt for sure. And it's hard to say this is how you don't have self-doubt. I mean, there's not really a good word to say it, I guess, but just kind of like what Joe and I were talking about a minute ago, how you can change the world or how can you make a difference, and all that is just kind of stepping out of your comfort zone, kind of like what I was saying, how if you see somebody walking down the street, just saying hi, or just trying to brighten someone's day, just saying, hey, you look great today. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but honestly, it does make a huge impact, just saying something like that, or how are you feeling today? And also there's a lot of things. Sorry, I'm reading this as I'm thinking, so I might need a second, but
I was just reading the chat because John O'Taylor just came on and was like, whoa, I missed Don't Worry Wednesday for a while, and Ryan has really changed. Yep. in voice and appearance.
And name.
And
all
name.
of the above. Hello.
Oh, that's good.
How can I go? It's kind of tough for me. I mean, I think we all have self-doubt, you know, in different aspects of our lives. I definitely think that's just something that we all have, but I do think there's just different things that we could do to change the world. You know, could I change the world? Absolutely, you can change the world.
Mhm.
You know, by very little things. You don't have to do something huge, or, you know, it's a matter of just caring for one another, you know, having humanity for somebody different than you know, even if you know, run into, I guess, a homeless person, or a person that's been in, you know, in prison, or, you know, something like that, or maybe even not that extreme, just somebody that looks different than you know, just treating them like a human being, not
Mhm.
treating them differently, and just speaking to them like, hey, just like you would speak to your cousin or your brother or whatever, and just saying, hey, how are you? And I think that's what we kind of forget as humans, is that those little things make a huge impact in humanity and our lives, and what we do. And I think as you grow through those times, your self-doubt kind of decimates to a sense. I mean, you know, you're always going to have some self-doubt you have to overcome, but it's a lifelong battle. I mean, we always are going to, and if you're not consciously thinking of what are my motives, or am I doubting myself, or, you know, I mean, it's I kind of lost my train of thought there, Joe.
That's
Okay,
all right. I'll pick up where you left off.
thanks.
Self-doubt. No, it is something we all struggle with, and I love where you're getting at with, because changing the world isn't necessarily like making some huge like impact and steering the world in a certain direction. What it is changing the lives of those around you, changing the lives of the people you come into contact with, and you do that through love. We really do. And it's an amazing thing. Like, that is such one of the missions we have with Black Static and Swerve, why we've gone into this area. We were always talking about, well, we wanted to make music, we wanted to make media, we wanted to do things that was positive, have a positive impact on people. But really, what we've noticed it's really coming down to is like based on this community of people, like all of you guys. Like, you guys in the chat, you make a difference to people with what you say in the chat. You know, when I talk to you guys on the gaming streams, you know, it makes a difference to me. It makes a difference to other people. You know, there's just this environment of, we can be who we are. We're not going to be judged. It doesn't matter where I come from. It doesn't matter, you know, what my background is. It doesn't matter. We're going to love you here. And that culture has been created mostly by Ryan, Static P. He has such a heart for people, and he kind of set this ball in motion, and we all just kind of followed along, and we're like, okay, well, yeah, because that's such a great environment to be in, where you can feel safe. You're not going to be bullied. You're not going to be judged. You know, you're just going to be accepted who you are. Because, and yes, we're Christians. And so there are things that we believe are good, and there are things we believe are evil. But you know what? Every single one of us struggles with sin. And so, like, how can we judge somebody for some certain sin?
Absolutely.
We can't. Like, so we're gonna love you regardless of whether we think what you're doing is right or not. That doesn't matter. What matters is you are you, and you're here. And we're all trying to get to be that best version of ourselves. We're all trying to help, you know, we're all trying to get to that point. And the better we get as individuals, the more of an impact we can have with those around us. the better we can do in terms of having that impact. And even if you yourself don't do some big major thing that sweeps across the world and changes the thinking of lots and lots of people, through your life, you might have an impact on somebody who does do that. And in that way, you're the cause. Because maybe you did something or said something and it changed their mind, and then they had the right connection to do something here and there and whatever, and it just took off and swept. It can be an amazing thing. You never ever know the chain reaction of your daily living.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody has the capability to change the world. I mean, everyone, just by the littlest, tiniest things you don't think matter, you really do by, just even helping with, there's lots of different programs where you can help, like kind of like missionary work, or I can't not think of the corporation right now that's right around here, but either way, y'all are probably not around here. So, but like Red Cross and there's different things, there's just little things you could do to help, or even just picking up, trash around your neighborhood, or just speaking to other people. There's a lot of ways that you can impact just one person. And I shouldn't say only, but if you impact one person, that is ultimately a huge change for the world. You just never know what that change could be. So by you impacting one person or two people or 1,000 people, it's all the same, really. I mean, it's what you're willing to give.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep, that's absolutely right. And it really does come down to those little things. I remember hearing a talk by a guy one time, and I know we're going to get back to Mother Teresa again. But he had done this interview with Mother Teresa, and they were in Phoenix. He was doing the radio station thing. He was a guy at a radio station in Phoenix, and she had been on, and he asked her, like, what can I do to help? What can I do to help this cause? I mean, this is amazing, because she really did have an impact on the world, like just her example and how she helped people, right? And so he was thinking, how can I contribute? Like, how can I give some money? How can I help your cause? Right. And what she told him was, I mean, she had a lot of spunk and vigor, right? She was kind of a, she wasn't like this lady. She was like no, we got to go do this. Let's go do this, get this done. Right. And so what she told the guy, she was like, if you really want to make a difference, if you really want to help this cause, what we're doing, you go to the grimiest part of Phoenix and you find somebody there and you make them feel like they're not alone in this world. And it struck him, because he was like, it would have been easy for me to just give money, but that was asking a big thing. Like, that's hard. Like, I'm gonna go find some homeless guy and make him feel like he's not alone. Like, but that's what she did, right? And so, like, and I'm not saying you have to do that. Like, that may not be your calling. That was definitely hers. But the point is, if you just follow what you feel your purpose is supposed to be, because if you're here, there's a reason for you to be here. None of us are here by accident. We were all created with a purpose. And part of our journey in life is discovering what that purpose is. And I say discovering because we don't always get to decide everything about our lives. We didn't get to decide the things we're naturally good at. Those were kind of just given to us. Our natural talents and gifts, those are just kind of, they wouldn't be called gifts if they weren't just kind of given to us. And so we kind of develop those, and we see where we're going. And it's kind of this journey as we travel and find our way. And it just, the more we live and pursue that purpose, the more it will affect the people around us. I dealt with this in my family recently. I have been pretty much on a keto diet for a while. That's very low carbs and high fats and proteins, right? And exercising regularly and everything, just trying to I'm following this program and trying to do things this way, right? And so the way I'm eating is different from the way like my in-laws are eating and everything. And so like I'm kind of catching this for a while. I kind of caught some flack about it because I wouldn't get ice cream when everybody got ice cream, and I wouldn't, like there was different stuff like that. And so, but then interestingly enough, I've noticed my kids have started to pick up a little bit, and they're not eating as much sugar when they're there. They're saying no to sweets, which was really
Ooh,
bizarre. I was like, what?
I wish that worked with my daughter.
It doesn't happen all the time, but they're just willing to say no in certain moments, right? And it's really weird. Like, so if you just live, you find yourself, influencing those around you. And so that's why it's so important to do like what Ryan talks about a lot, where he says, pursue virtue. Find virtues and pursue them, because if you're going to be influencing the people around you, it'd be way better if you influence them in a good way than a bad way, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
for
So
sure. For sure.
so yeah, I would encourage you, you absolutely can change the world. You will struggle with self-doubt. It will come and go. And one of the best ways to deal with self-doubt I found yesterday was to talk to somebody that, talk to somebody, and just, you don't have to talk about anything in particular. But when you talk to somebody else, you remind yourself you're not alone. And it can help you get your head screwed on right. A lot of times, if you're like me, you can start going down a path of thinking, and you just start and you start focusing on something, and it just gets you more and more upset. And then all of a sudden you're just like, man, I'm never talking to this person ever again in my life. And I don't, whatever. They're just making me so mad. And then you talk to somebody and you just realize, wait a second, that was just me going down this train of thought that was stupid.
Yeah, it could become something completely different than what's actually going on.
Yes.
You can go down this train of thought, and then you're all of a sudden this crazy person.
Right.
Like, nobody was thinking this around me, but I was thinking it. Hope I'm not alone, because
Yeah.
it's happened a couple times.
That I think that happens to most people who use their brains.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So I think, man, if you find yourself in a moment of self-doubt, don't hesitate to reach out. And it was great for you to come and reach out here. Hopefully some of our conversation here has given you a little bit of a boost. But it certainly did for me. Katie, did you have anything else?
No, I was just reading that Blue Dragon said he doesn't. Well, here's the thing: I don't use my brain. Well, a lot of times I don't apparently either, but
Yes.
I think it's human nature, and we all just strive to grow and learn, and that's all you can do. So hopefully you just grow and learn, and we all embarrass ourselves, and we all do silly things. We all do stupid things. We all do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is we don't have to be bad. We just because we did something bad doesn't mean we can't grow and learn. And it's a lifelong journey to learn and just be better and feel better and grow. So
Yep, you're absolutely right. I love what Blue Dragon just said. I've already embarrassed myself so much on stage that no matter the stupider you act, the more impressive it is when you're smart.
I feel ya. I was reading that. I was like, yeah, I love Blue Dragon. That's pretty funny.
That is totally true.
Yep.
But at any rate, wow. I really appreciate that. You guys, this is awesome. But you're going to struggle with self-doubt for sure. It's going to come and go. But just remember, your life has a purpose. And that goes for all of you, all of you that are hearing this ever, whether it's here live or later or whenever, you do have a purpose. Just the very fact that you exist tells me that. And there's something you're here to do. There's never been anybody like you before. There never will be anybody like you again in all of human history. You are unique. And there's something for you to do here. And part of the fun in life is figuring that out. And it can be frustrating. It can be debilitating. But hopefully we can help just by being a group of friends that aren't going to judge you. And we can allow you to be who you are. Be who you are here. And maybe, just maybe, with that level of, comfort and that level of safety in this community, maybe then it can help you have the freedom to figure out what you want to be, what you're supposed to be. Maybe it can help you move to that next level. I don't know. But that's kind of what our goal is around here. We just want to help in any way we can and offer that place where you can grow to be who you're supposed to be. And so I'd encourage you, come around, go to bss.studio, get involved on the Minecraft server if you want, get involved in Discord. Also, stay tuned. There's going to be more and more announcements on this coming up. But this Friday is the 11th, and all of our Kickstarter stuff is getting shipped out this Friday. So all of you who participated in the campaign, you won't receive your stuff that day. It will be shipped that day. Those of you, yes. And those of you who have downloadable content, that day is the day that will be available. That's 2 weeks before the release date of the Criminal Idol Season 1. So then on September 24th, mark that day, because we will be having a watch party. I don't know if it'll be on this channel or on the Static P channel, but we'll be watching the Criminal Idol series in its entirety, I think, together. And then finally, the episode 13, the one that is brand new that nobody's seen yet, except for a few of us. And actually, I haven't even seen the final version of it. Ryan has edited it since. But yeah, not even all the staff members at Black Static and Swerve have seen this video. So we're all going to get to see it on the 24th. That's the night before it releases to the world on Spotify and iTunes and everywhere. So so definitely. How much is it, Joe? $4.99. What are you talking about?
Not sure about that. Blue Dragon says I have, not really.
But at any rate, so yeah, September 24th, that day. But stay tuned for details. Keep an eye on bss.studio. There will also be some changes coming to the website, so keep going back there and checking things out. So we love you guys. We're kind of at that point. It's 11 o'clock. So
yeah. Thanks for letting me be here. I had a great time.
Oh my goodness. Everybody give Katie a round of applesauce. She's amazing. I'm just honored. I was kind of jealous when Ryan got to be on the show with you for the first time. I was like, man, I want to be on this show. But now I get to.
Glad. I was very glad. I was nervous, but I had fun.
Yeah, good.
It was good stuff. So
yeah. Well, it's always great to have you on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next time. I really enjoy having Katie on the show. I think her perspective is so valuable, And yeah, I think we're actually gonna start a schedule of some kind. We've talked about this a lot at Black Saturday Sword, but I think we're actually gonna do it where we have some different people coming in and out of Don't Worry Wednesday. And
Yeah,
it's really turned into a fun thing where we get different perspectives from different people, but it's all good
it's
because
great to have for
we
sure.
got good people. So yes, a round of pause for Katie. And it's funny because they live in a town called Paw Paw.
I do. I live in Papa.
So that's like pause. Paw Paw. Yeah. Because there's more than one.
Around. Oh dear.
That's awesome.
It's
So
past my bedtime.
right on. Well, at any rate, thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you, Jesse, for producing the show. Thank you, Princess, for being our lovely hostess and reading the topics and keeping us on track. And thanks again, Katie, for joining us. This has been so tremendous.
Yes, thank
And
you. It's an honor to be here. I look
yes,
forward to next time.
yes, we do too. And to all of you, come back next week on Wednesday, and we'll see you then on Don't Worry Wednesday. Till then, have a great week.
Bye.